Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm here in West Bromwich. It has to be said that the High Street here in West Bromwich is practically dead now. It's never going to be like it once was. We've all got our opinions as to why the High Street has declined the way it has. And it's not just West Bromwich, of course, it's a lot of the high streets around the Black Country area. I'm going to show you another reason why the High Street is in decline, and it's probably something you might not have ever given any thought about actually, but I think it does. I think it is a big factor in why the High Street is in the state it's in. So let's go and check it out. A successful High Street is all about money and what type of businesses the High Street can attract, and I'm not sure why, but the High Street is not in a position anymore to attract big names. I know that the new Square shopping centre seems to be okay at the moment, because when you walk through a fair few shops, and they all seem to be doing all right. There's a lot of footfall in there, but when you leave that particular area and you go down to the Queen Square and the upper part of the High Street, the Duchess and Princess parades, it tells you a completely different story. But anyway, back in the 60s, when several dedicated office blocks were built in and around the High Street, which predominantly were built in what is now known as probably the lower part of the High Street, and they were built within what is now called the conservation area of the town. There's like a perimeter that goes from St Michael's Church around the back of the library and the town hall and the back of Astle House, and which contains many of the listed buildings. And within that area, a lot of commercial buildings were created. One of them was this place, Guardian House. And what I want to show you really is what's happening with our commercial buildings in the town. Of course, office buildings were the home for a lot of different businesses. Some of the blocks were whole businesses, but what it did do was bring a lot of money to the town. People who worked in these places usually had money, and they would often use the facilities, the shops in the town at lunchtime and in the evening when they would leave the shop, we'd leave office work and they'd come and use the shops in the town. But how many of our commercial office blocks now still survive as office blocks? And the first one I've shown you is Guardian House. Now, Guardian House is considered a premier commercial building here in the town, because if you look here to the right, it does overlook the new Square shopping centre that's been there since around 2013 now. So what does Guardian House have? Well, I'm looking at the board here, and it says it has Filler World. It's like I don't know, Health Solutions, Rapid Charge, Sporting Group International, Toshiba, SIPS, Main Reception Training Conference, and some solicitors in there as well. Well, it does look as though the building is being used for office use, but currently there's around about 10,000 feet of available office space at around £11.50 a square foot. So there's a lot of empty space in there, and for a premier office block, it's not really attracting the people to come and invest in the building. So, but at least we can say that Guardian House is still has some office use. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you all the other office buildings around in the High Street. The next office block I'll show you here is called Astle House. Now, Astle House used to be the offices of Kenrick and Jefferson until about the 80s. But this building here in front of me has been here since around 1883, and all this site here of Astle Park used to be the site of Kenrick and Jefferson, the printing works. But there's something very odd about this place here. I don't know what on earth is going on with this building. I think plans were passed for it to have some kind of retail and commercial use. There's been boards put around it, but nothing's been going on at all. At the front of the building, there's scaffolding up, and again, it doesn't appear as though anything's been done to it, so it's now an absolute eyesore. It's been like that for a couple of years now, I think. Look. The old Kenrick and Jefferson office buildings. There used to be some more office buildings just here belonging to Kenrick and Jefferson, but they were demolished around about 2002. Now here we have Victoria Street, and we've got Victoria House on the corner. It's been there since 1963, and it's had various uses again, but is it being used as offices? Well, at the moment the ground floor is an estate agent, Paul Dudley. It used to be Bond Wolf. I'll just take you, there's a sign up there saying let buy, and if we look through the window doors here, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 letter boxes inside, giving the impression that it's flats, but don't really know what is actually going on in that building. But it does look very empty at the top, the first and second floor. It does look rather empty. So now we're on Victoria Street. Do you know, I don't quite remember what used to be here before all these flats were built, all these apartments, and there's plenty of them, and there's retail at the bottom. Now here's another block here. This is called Asden House, number 4 to 5 Victoria Street, and really it's a dental surgery. I think it covers the whole building. The next one here is called Lanchard House. Now, is that still a commercial building? Well, on the side it's got offices to let, so it's giving you the impression that it's still offices operating from this building. The top floor, the whole floor up there is Sandwell Women's Aid, and they offer help and support for those victims of domestic abuse. Now the second floor is given over to students. Now I don't know if it's students' accommodation or it's where the student learning. So it's not entirely commercial, because I don't know what's on the first floor. So again, Lanchard House is not entirely commercial. This building here is called Transport House because it used to be the building for the Transport and General Workers Union. So it employed a lot of people in there, but now, as you can see, it's 30 apartments with another 7 apartments built on the roof. Yeah, they was given permission to build another 7 on the airspace at the top. So there's 37 apartments. Transport House is no longer a commercial building. So that's another one off the list. So I'm going to take you down here now. I'm going to show you something else just around the corner here in Lombard Street. Okay, let's go down Lombard Street West. I'll show you what's going on down here. We've got a late 1950s building, dedicated office block. It's called West House, and it's this one here. There's 60 apartments in there, in this block, because it ain't commercial anymore, it's all flats. Look at the state of it. Mainly 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartments. I think the ground floor is still commercial use. I don't think anybody's using it, but the rest of the building and at the rear, it's all apartments. Look at all the paint flaking off the frontages. It really is a monumental eyesore of a building, that is. West House. It must be a pretty expensive operation to convert offices to flats. Well, because a lot of the office space wouldn't have any ensuite bathrooms and toilet facilities and that and such like. So it would take a big effort to turn these office blocks into apartments, and of course there's all the electricity, the plumbing, the sewerage systems to contend with. It's a big effort, but that's what's happening to them. And all the people with money who used to work in these buildings have all gone. Here's the West Bromwich Magistrates Court. Now I wonder what's going to happen to this building. This is grade 2. And it's been empty now since it's not been used as a magistrates court now since about 2012. And yeah, and all along here used to be the court restaurant with a large corner property on the end there. But just beyond there was the gas showrooms, of which the original building got bombed during the war, Second World War. The replacement building was taken away brick by brick and rebuilt at the Black Country Museum. Okay, so next I'm going to show you, just here on the High Street, is another office building, but it hasn't been used for quite some time, so it's probably always a problem as to what to do with these kinds of buildings. But it is a grade 2 listing. And when as a grade 2 listing, you'd really think, wouldn't you, that these buildings would be looked after. But look at the state of it. And the buildings in question are this one and the one at the end there. Plans have been passed to build flats and a 2-storey extension at the rear of these buildings. And at the moment you can see lots of foliage growing out of the guttering. And also up there, look, it's where it's pigeon infestation now. The windows have been left open and there's pigeons and all manner of bird life in there, and all this growth in the gutters and the roof, in the roof line. It really has been like that for years now. And it seems whoever owns it just wants to get rid of it. It's just left. But again, I don't know what councils do with regards to grade 2 listed buildings. Surely they should be onto the landlords and to say, come on, get your act together, look at the state of it. But anyway, that looks like that's going to be flats very soon. Next place we're going to go up to is Lombard Street, just ahead of me. Let's have a look up here in Lombard Street then. And we've got some office blocks up this particular street. Now I believe that these are still office blocks, and there's parking at the rear with the barrier, but I've got no idea who operates from there, because there's no boarding at the front to say who's in there. There's a light just up there in one of that room, and there's some lights on just here, so maybe 1 or 2 of the floors are in use. And there's right at the top there's lighting up there, but this floor and this one here is all in darkness. Having said that, just at the end there's light in there, so there is still some commercial use going on. Now turn your attention to this place over here. This was once known as the Greaves Organisation, a 1960s building. That's quite a big place. It stretches back a bit, and it's all flats. The Greaves Organisation was a construction company that were residents there, but now it's one great big residential apartment block now. So again, it's no longer employing hundreds of people. Anyway, we've got this place called Kinder House, and we've got insurance brokers, and also this floor here doesn't look as though it's being used, but the top floor, it's all lit up, and there's lots of car parking underneath. So Kinder House in Church Street and Lombard Street does look as though it's in some kind of use commercially. But there's so much empty office space with the buildings I've already shown you. We've come in past the recently refurbished Town Hall and Library, a £7.5 million investment to ensure that these buildings look absolutely brilliant along the High Street. But what do they do in the Town Hall? Once it was our administrative centre for West Bromwich, and so there was a lot of people that used to work in that building, and you know what? There's hardly anybody in there now. The library is still quite a busy place, but the Town Hall ain't. Went in the other day, just had a quick look round. I saw the large dance hall with its organ, and another room, but there was no people in there. There was just one person showing me around, and there was no sign of life in there. I'm sure there must be one or two people in that building, but when you consider the hundreds of people that work up in Albury, where the administrative centre is now, all those people could still have been here, couldn't they? Because it's still a fabulous building. But they've all been shipped off and gone, and they all work up in Albury now, leaving a high street yet again without lots of people using the shops and other facilities in the town. Okay, we're coming to the junction of Dartmouth Street and Samuel Road. Just show you this place. This was the headquarters of the West Bromwich Building Society, and it's a sorry state now, isn't it? It's now called Society House. The headquarters of the West Bromwich Building Society have now moved to Providence Place, which is again near the New Square shopping centre. Plans have been passed for around 100 apartments in this place, but you can see it's still got for sale on the front. It says residential development opportunity, because that's what it's going to be. There's going to be 100 flats or so built in this building, and there's been scaffolding up at the side and the rear for some time now. Not sure when there's going to be a start made on building flats, but flats they will be eventually. So again, we got loads of residential apartments going to be down the high street of West Brom. In the 60s building, the Select House, which before then used to be a pub and a brewery on the corner of Spencer's, I think it was called. That used to be on the corner of Sandwell Road. Select House now, as it's got on the front that it empowers adults with learning disabilities, autism, acquired brain injury, mental illness, and it provides supported living through shared housing, residential care, etc. Previous tenants to this building used to be the Unemployment Benefit Office, and I think some solicitors used to have the second or third floor. But anyway, it was all being used back then. But now it looks like there's a Christmas tree there in reception. If you can look up there, the third and fourth floor are all lit up, so it gives the impression that they are being in use. But of course, this one, the first and second floor, are all in darkness. So no use there. Okay, let's take you down Sandwell Road and see what's just down here. This is the perimeter of the conservation area along this bit here, Sandwell Road and Dartmouth Street behind me. But I will go past this point because I'm going to take you down a bit further down the High Street and show you something else down there. You can see there's the side of Select House. There is a building that's in a bit of a sorry state. Look, this is called Dartmouth House. Quite a busy commercial building back in its day. It used to, I think the NHS we used to work from here. A firm of solicitors were also in this building. It also offered career advice and development. But now you can see it's all been disbanded. It's all falling apart. It's all boarded up just at the ground level here, and you can see it's all going into a rather major state of disrepair now. There is parking through there, but you can see it's in a bad way, and I've got a feeling now, because you can see some bricks there, there might be plans afoot to turn this building into apartments. So another commercial building has bit the dust here in Sandwell Road. Now I'm going to go a bit further down the High Street. Again, two major dedicated commercial buildings were constructed down here, and I'm going to show you what's become of those now. Just show you here on the corner of Dartmouth Street and the High Street, there's a new building here called Stroller's Convenience Store. It's not open yet, but it's going to be, as you can see, a convenience store and an off licence. Used to be the new hot pole. Okay, just here on the corner of Shaftesbury Street, and there's Shaftesbury Casino. Used to be Ford Guests. And we got this place called Kingston House. It's set to be flats. Kingston House, previous tenants in this building were the tax office, and it was a NHS used it for whatever purpose, but again, hundreds of people would be working here, and of course they would be using all the shops and other facilities that would be in and around the High Street of West Bromwich. But now they've all gone. It's not a commercial property anymore. It will be flats, and we got this place ahead of me. Again, this goes right back. Quite a few flats in this place as well now, but this used to be the Department of Social Security, and it has been there for quite some time. But now I've only recently discovered, that it is now all flats. It used to be called Parnham House, it's now called Metro House. So again, two huge office blocks, dedicated office blocks, have been given over to residential use. And that is the sad reflection really of our High Street, because it was always thriving and bustling, lots of great shops, and there was lots of entertainment around here, and it was all dependent upon the people who used the High Street. But when large commercial premises all closed down, these people with money all just move out and go elsewhere. And so now we're left with a High Street now deplete of entertainment and great retail along here, given over to residential use. It's just now a residential street, like any street. That's the way it's going, and that's the way it is. Well, what do you think, eh? There were once big office buildings, lots of people were employed there, but now sadly all our commercial property now along the High Street is practically vanished now. It's all residential use, and as I said before, it's now really just a residential High Street now. Well, that's what it's fast becoming. That seems to be the way it's going for a lot of the commercial buildings around the Black Country area. Sad, isn't it, really? Because dedicated office blocks served a great purpose for the town, but now they're all gone, practically all gone. Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and if you like the video, hit the like button, and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.